Now, following Rudy Giuliani's disastrous interview on CNN, the president's lawyer decided to go back to a familiar talking point while clarifying his comments. Now, he's like, I didn't do collusion. The president or anybody related to the campaign, at least the president, didn't do collusion. I know we previously said everybody didn't do collusion. We didn't know. But now I'm just saying that the president didn't do collusion. Right. Okay. Now, this is according to New York Times reporter Maggie Haberman. Giuliani released a statement on Twitter that she had posted. He said, to clarify my comments during the Cuomo interview last evening, because they have been misinterpreted, I issued the following statement. I represent only President Trump, not the Trump campaign. There was no collusion by President Trump in any way, shape, or form. Likewise, I have no knowledge of any collusion by any of the thousands of people who worked on the campaign. Now, remember, during that interview, Giuliani made a bunch of claims. In fact, he said there was no collusion. Why don't we take a look at that video again?
False reporting is saying that there has been no suggestion of any kind of collusion between the campaign and any Russians. Because now you have Paul Manafort giving poll data that winds up leading to this coincidence.
Well, you just misstated my position. I never said there was no collusion between the campaign or between people in the campaign.
Yes,
I have
have
no idea if I have not. I said the President of the United States. There is not a single bit of evidence the President of the United States committed the only crime you could commit here, conspired with the Russians to hack the DNC.
First of all, crime is not the bar of accountability for a president. It's about what you knew,
well, he didn't
what was
with
right
Russia
and
either.
what was wrong, and what did you deceive about. Those are going to be major considerations.
The president did not.
He said nobody had any contact. Tons of people had contact. Nobody
is.
Colluded. The guy running his campaign.
He didn't say
was
nobody.
Working on an issue at the same time as the convention.
He said he didn't. He didn't say nobody. How would you know that nobody in your campaign?
He actually did say that, Rudy. He said nobody, and then he said, as far as I know.
He said it in a. Well, as far as he knows, that's true.
I will never get tired of that. Actually, you know what? He did say that. I mean, as far as it... That's basically Rudy Giuliani's response. I love that. But here's the other thing, right? So, no collusion, right? I never said there was no collusion. No, he did say that. That was in his explainer statement. Now, I want to point out, by the way, related to this. So, no collusion in the campaign, right? So this is how the narrative has changed over the over the last couple of years when it came to this, right? Now, this is starts out in November 2016, right? So they said, and this is former Trump aide Hope Hicks on communications between foreign entities. She said, it never happened. There was no communication between the campaign and any foreign entity during the campaign. Notice how he said the campaign, right? So here's the campaign saying, oh no, there's absolutely no communication. Now, see how this narrative changes. February 2017, there were no communications to the best of our knowledge. I mean, there could be communications, but we don't necessarily know. And this is Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying this is a non-story because to the best of our knowledge, no contacts took place. However, that changed in March of 2017 when Donald Trump Jr. came out and said, actually, we did have communications. However, we didn't have any planned meetings. In fact, Donald Trump Jr. says, did I meet with people that are Russian? I'm sure I did, but none of that were set up. None that I can think of at the moment, and certainly none that I was representing the campaign in any way, shape, or form. Now that, of course, changes to the Trump Tower meeting. July 8th, 2017, Don Jr. said, there was a planned meeting at Trump Tower, but it was primarily about adoption and not related to the campaign. He said, we primarily discussed a program about the adoption of Russian children that was active and popular with American families years ago and was since ended by the Russian government. But it was not a campaign issue at the time, and there was no follow-up. And actually, do you know why Russia ended the adoption of children? Because President Obama put in something called the Magnitsky Act. It was basically there to punish Russian billionaires and oligarchs. Interesting. Now, they're continuing the evolution of this as more stuff continues to come out during that time period. July 9th, they said, well, the meeting was planned to discuss the campaign. However, the information that I didn't get wasn't meaningful. That's basically Don Jr. saying, look, if they had meaningful information, then yeah, we were trying to get that. We were trying to get dirt on Hillary, but they didn't have it. They didn't have any, so we were bored and we were kind of upset. So we walked out. We were done with the meeting. Okay. In fact, Trump Jr. said no details or supporting information was provided or even offered. It quickly became clear that she, Natalia Veselnitskaya, of course, said had no meaningful information. December of 2017, the narrative of collusion. I mean, okay, so there was collusion, but it's not even a crime. In fact, President Trump said there's no collusion, and even if there was, it's not a crime. And May 16th of 2018, Giuliani had said, even if meaningful information were obtained, we didn't use it. Oh, wait a minute. So notice the evolution of all that. I mean, oh yeah, no communication whatsoever. Actually, there was communication, but no meetings. Actually, there was meetings, but nothing meaningful. Actually, if there was anything meaningful, that we at least didn't use it. Wow, man. In fact, May 19th of, this is on May 16th of 2018 still. Giuliani says, even if it comes from a Russian or a German or an American, it doesn't matter, and they never used it, is the main thing. They never used it, they rejected it, and if there was collusion with the Russians, they would have used it. Okay, all right. May 19th of 2018, there was a second planned meeting about foreign help in the election, but nothing came of it either. Now, the New York Times reported on Sunday on yet another meeting about getting the foreign help in the 2016 election. This one came 3 months before the election and featured Donald Trump Jr. and an emissary, George Nader, who said that the princes who led Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates wanted to assist Trump. So now that's just not Russia. Now we're getting in Middle Eastern leaders like Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Now, again, a lot of people focus on just the Russia part, right? But you have to understand that there are governments out there, including Israel, who are, look, we're the most powerful, considered the most powerful nation on earth, right? So, of course, all these other countries, that's a weird Freudian slip, all these other countries want to influence us, right? And so it just happens that in this case, allegedly, you have one country that was actually far more successful because the current GOP candidate at the time and now president of the United States was far more receptive to said help. That said, we do have ties with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia does a ton of lobbying in Congress. You also have AIPAC, Israel, that has a ton of influence on our politicians. And now Russia just seems to have a lot of influence over certain politicians. So, look, I think all of that is a problem. I think Israel having a lot of influence in our government is problematic. I think Saudi Arabia having a lot of influence in the government is very problematic. But we never talked about that until we talked about Russia. And why the focus is on Russia instead of also talking about these other things, that's sort of my problem with this whole thing. But nonetheless, my problems aside, or my issues aside with this is a major problem. So all of this is a major problem. Now, finally, we've got more, right? We have more, one more here. Now this is Alan Figueres, Trump Jr.'s attorney, right? They said, quote, they pitched Mr. Trump Jr. on a social media platform or marketing strategy. He was not interested, and that was the end of it. That's their defense, right? There's more. July 16 of 2018, they said Trump couldn't collude because Trump didn't know Putin at all. Well, now, wait a minute here. So these meetings, which is interesting, he didn't know Putin at all, right? Oh, I didn't know him personally. Are you sure? Why then are you, or have you been caught, and this is afterwards, of course, why did you get caught basically hiding your notes every time you've met with Putin? Isn't that weird? That's weird. That's sketchy as hell. So if you're like, at one point he literally went and took the notes away from his staffers, from his interpreters, because he didn't want anybody to know what they talked about when they were alone. In fact, Trump was alone with Putin and his interpreter, no American officials whatsoever. Is that not shady as shit? It is to me. It's super shady. Oh, but no. He didn't know Putin at all. Well, it seems like they had a pretty chummy relationship afterwards. And that, of course, he has been an advocate for Russia. And so that's weird. Now, so look, here's the thing, right? There's more. We've got all of these excuses coming out, right? With ending with Giuliani arguing that collusion is not even a crime. He says, I don't even know if that's a crime, colluding with the Russians or with anybody. Giuliani said on CNN, hacking is the crime. The president didn't hack. He didn't pay for the hacking. And on Fox, he said, I've been sitting here looking in the federal code trying to find collusion as a crime. Collusion is not a crime. So again, it went to no collusion, to maybe, to it's not a crime, till Trump himself didn't do it. We didn't know if anybody else did it. So now what's next? Well, what's next is attacking Hillary Clinton, since they seem to have exhausted their playbook. In fact, he claimed that Hillary Clinton was the one who colluded with Russia, and says, well, now everybody's ignoring it. Now, you guys know I'm no Hillary fan, right? But I do know a bullshit deflection when I see one. Now, Giuliani, he made a huge mistake because he was caught either being the worst lawyer in the world or being so completely dishonest and lying all the time. And look, when you get caught lying as a Republican, as they have shown, what do? Their first move is to point the finger at either Obama or Hillary and blame them. You guys ever take responsibility for anything? I'm just curious. I've never seen a Republican take responsibility for anything. And so I asked that question, but in reality, we already all know the answer because it's so goddamn obvious in front of us. Now, as far as the other answers and whether or not Trump knew there was collusion in his own campaign, I don't necessarily know, but I guess that's for Mueller to find out and for us to hear about and report on later. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.